30 years ago, future Hall of Famer Steve Wise won the first ever Superbike event to be held at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course just outside of Lexington, Ohio. It would prove to be his only Superbike win throughout a distinguished racing career. 3 decades later, 3-time and defending AMA Pro Superbike champion Josh Hayes returns to the Buckeye State with plans of claiming his 61st victory while securing the points lead for the 2013 championship. Through 2012, Hayes has won at Mid-Ohio 5 times, joining an impressive list of repeat event champions. Men like 7-time series champion Matt Mladen, who owns 10 sets of checkers from Ohio. World Superbike and MotoGP competitor, 3-time Superbike champion Ben Spies with 2 wins. And Doug Chandler, also with 3 series championships and 3 wins out of Central Ohio. Mid-Ohio seems to favor those who have won here before, and Hayes knows that. This weekend's races are more than just potential wins, they represent redemption. A comeback that many felt could not be made after his disastrous start of the season at Daytona.
A pretty serious problem for Josh Hayes. He's pulling it up and is parking it.
For Hayes, today could be remembered as when the sun again began to shine. When for him all was once again as it should be. That's just how champions think. Perhaps that is why they are champions.
Welcome everyone to the continuing celebration of 50 years of racing right here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And it's here that Josh Hayes has come to secure that redemption he's been chasing ever since those March days in Daytona. Hi everyone, I'm Jonathan Green, and along with AMA and World Superbike champion Scott Russell and Daniel Teal in the pits, we'll be bringing you the conclusion of round 4 of the 2013 Geico AMA Pro Road Racing Series. Now, we saw yesterday from the first Superbike race, all eyes were on that number 1 Yamaha. And they were gunning for him right from the get-go too. The Yamaha's out front, but it was Josh Herrin leading the early pace, his teammate. But through came the champ very quickly on his favourite corner. But Herrin wasn't done. Look at him come. Josh Herrin definitely fighting hard. Turn 1 to take the lead again. Cardenas too. Martin Cardenas on the 36 Suzuki was in the mix. But in that closing stages, Cardenas gets stuck behind a back marker. Herrin goes through to take second place. But it's all Hayes as he makes it win number 6 here at Mid-Ohio. So another cracking day for the Josh Hayes dynasty as he goes for that 4th consecutive win. Wins over Josh Herrin and Martin Cardenas in 3rd place. Danny Eslick, Jeff May, and that win, of course, puts Hayes to the top. Let's head down to Daniel Teal in the pits. And in terms of the points, 166 for Josh Hayes. Cardenas just 1 behind, and that means that Cardenas can start to lead this championship if he gets a good result here in race 2. Danny Eslick hasn't showed as well as he thought he might in 6th place. Fillmore is 7th. Let's head down to Daniel Teal.
The number 1 of Josh Hayes has won 5 of the last 5 races. Josh, I know you say that there is no pressure on you, but you have to say that the number 54 and the number 2 are in fact giving you a little pressure.
Yeah, they're riding great right now, but fortunately the little thing I have, a little feather in my cap, is the second half of the race seems to go my way a little bit right now. So probably a lot of hard work over a lot of years, but those guys are getting better every weekend, and I'm still trying hard, so we'll see what happens. I don't mind racing either. I like a good hard race, and those boys are riding well, so let's go get them, me and Yamaha.
Scott?
Thanks, Danielle. I'm down here with Josh Herrin. Josh had a great warm-up this morning. Yesterday's race, I thought you rode as good as you have all year on a Superbike. Is today the day? Do you think you can stop your teammate?
I'd like to think so. You know, yesterday went really well, and like you said, this morning went awesome. You know, it was kind of like a race simulation. Me and Roger were able to, battle it out with Josh right in front of us, so it ended up working out really well. And hopefully for the race we can get it done and get that Monster Energy Graves Yamaha R1 up towards the front a little bit more.
Well, done a great job. Back to you, Danielle.
Scott, in this morning's practice, the number 54 of Roger Hayden had the pace to be on top. Roger, you were there early on in the race yesterday, but faded towards the beginning. Do you have the pace here today to maybe win the race?
I think so. We have the pace to be up there today. We were fastest this morning in warm-up, and we got to put yesterday behind us, and I'm looking forward to a long race and challenging Josh again like we did at Barber today.
Jonathan?
Yeah, no question. Roger Hayden is the man to watch. He is determined. But in terms of 3 consecutive championships, Josh Hayes is one of the men. Matt Mladen did it twice. But remember, no one in the history of Pro AMA has ever done 4. Can Josh do it? Join us after the break to find out.
AMA Pro Superbike on CBS Sports Network is brought to you by 1-800-MOTORCYCLE. The lawyers at 1-800-MOTORCYCLE remind you to ride safe tonight. 1-800-MOTORCYCLE. Lawyers helping injured riders. Call or click anytime for a free consultation. And by Yamaha. Yamaha is the first name in motorsports.
What we did 20 years ago was actually a big deal.
Checkered flag waves and Dale Quarterly wins his first ever AMA National Superbike race.
And I know other privateers have won races, but the factories weren't running then. When we ran, everybody was running. There was 13 factory motorcycles running at the end of that race, and all 13 of them behind us. When we're in winner's circle and everybody's congratulating us, I happen to look down, and who's standing there? It's Nicky Hayden. He's like 12. So it was just one of those days.
An amazing thought when you think about it. 12-year-old Nicky Hayden. Who'd have thought the man who inspired Nicky to become a world champion in his own right would be that man, Dale Quarterly. What a wonderful story that is. Now, repeat winners at Mid-Ohio. Tommy Hayden, Nicky Hayden, repeat winners 2 times over, so there's no reason why Roger Hayden shouldn't be inspired by the family legacy that is here. Now, Ryan Kerr is the number 28 Suzuki from Jonestown in Ohio, just down the road, and he doesn't get much time off, but when he does, he's got a very interesting hobby of racing diesel trucks.
Yeah, me and my friend Riley, he has a diesel shop. It's called Abraham Diesel Performance. We hang out and make diesel trucks go a lot faster. Like you see them blow a whole bunch of black smoke. We have a drag truck that we were thinking about bringing up here on a trailer, but it's a black 2-wheel drive. It's got an 88mm turbo on it, bigger injectors, different lift pump. We actually got a 300 shot of nitrous going to it. It's a lot of fun, but it definitely runs good. Yeah, you definitely get a rush because it's still a truck, so when you're going fast in the truck, they get a little squirrely because you're not low to the ground. It's almost like the same feeling as riding a superbike. It's an awesome feeling. That's why we love messing with it.
Ryan Kerr just might be the next Moto champion. And there he is on the grid on the number 28, enjoying his weekend out. And of course, it's not too far to go down the road from Ohio, of course. But Scott, what are we watching for here in race 2?
Well, obviously, it's for me, it's can Hayden humble Hayes. I think after practice this morning, I think he's in a great position to challenge him for a win. And Cardenas, 1 point behind Josh Hayes. Now, can he come back and cross town traffic, slow movers at the end of the race? Be careful with that.
We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
Hey Scott and Jonathan, it's stuntman Tom McComas just off the set here in Los Angeles. My question for you, can Martin Cardenas find anything in the tank to put it back on top of the box and retake the points lead? I don't know, but I'll be watching live on CBS Sports Network to find out, thanks to you guys.
You know it, and that is the question of the day, and right on time, because race 2 coming up. And of course, in terms of the records, Ben Speed's qualifying record, 1 minute 23.6, average of 103. And Josh Hayes, of course, with now 6 wins at Mid-Ohio, has a splendid record here. But can anybody stop him? He's had 5 wins in a row now. He's once again on the pole, but Hayden is definitely looking to try and steal away a victory. And Likewise, Josh Herrin in third position. Danny Eslick, he has been a factor too. Martin Cardenas, there he is on the second row. Aaron Yates looked good on the EVR yesterday, but he always goes well. What a record he's got. 3 Superbike wins over the years. Larry Pegram was off a moment ago on the warm-up lap. Never seen anything like it. Dave Anthony had problems yesterday. The Aussie, though, is back. Taylor Knapp, Corey West, Chris Ulrich, and Huntley Nash on that Kawasaki. Danny Kelsey, Ryan Kerr, and Johnny Rock Page. So the warm-up lap, Scott, and your thoughts?
Well, obviously this racetrack right here is a super challenging racetrack. It's made up of a lot of swoopy left-hand corners in this section right here, and then a bunch of slow to medium tight corners in this area. So it's a real challenge for the riders. Grip is tricky. It's off camber. You're never really on a flat surface here. So it's a super challenging racetrack for the riders, and it creates great racing.
In terms of the weather, well, it stayed fair all through the weekend. We had rain at the beginning of the weekend, which slowed things down in terms of the track really coming in, but it has now, and look how hot it is. Let's head down now to Danielle Teal, see what she's got down there.
The number 72, Larry Pegram, went down in turn 9 on the warm-up lap. They've got it cleaned up in turn 9 now. They're ready to go racing, but Larry did have to come back to the pits, put it back together, but he's ready to go racing as well.
Yeah, nasty off for the very experienced Larry Pegram. Well, he is testing those leathers, isn't he?
And that's kind of where that oil spill kind of went down earlier, so he's a bit worried about that.
And Johnny Rock Page is down.
So anyway, that could be, I don't know if that's the same spot or not. That looks like it might be off the back straightaway, which would be turn 6. We got to get a wider shot to confirm that, but nevertheless, Johnny Rock's on the ground.
Yep, and everybody else, though, is back to where they should be. Now, Roger Hayden. Big time for him. You saw the record of his brother, Nicky and Tommy here, both with 2 wins. Roger looking to try and make amends. Just remember this. Roger Hayden lost this race by .224, and he remembers that last year, that's for sure. Race 2, Superbikes from Mid-Ohio. Hayes on the pole. Hayden takes a look at it. Oh, jump there, slightly big jump there from the pole man Hayes. It could cause him problems, but away they go. Hayes has the lead in the whole shot, but he could get penalized for that, Scott.
He could do. We saw it happen in Barber, so we'll see just exactly how the AMA decides to play this. That's the 1 and the 2 that lead it through the first time. Danny Eslick up in the 3rd spot.
Yeah, Danny Eslick, 4 wins here, of course, in sport bike, and up to 3rd place. The 2 Suzukis right where they need to be. 3rd and 4th, Cardenas fifth. Good start then, and would be interesting to see, because they did hold the lights for a long time there, and I think it messed with Josh Hayes a little bit there as they head down the flat out straight over 174 miles an hour down here into that first corner. Here comes Josh Herrin, can't quite do it, and look at the 54, into 3rd goes Roger Hayden.
Well, he knows he's got to get around Eslick right now if he wants any chance of keeping up with the number 1. The only thing is to keep in mind, if there's any kind of penalizer on the start, then Josh Hayes realizes that I got to get 10 seconds ahead of these other guys, because that's the penalty that was given to him at Barber.
Well, exactly, and of course at Barber, he got that penalty and just kept riding, and actually negated it by riding hard and getting a 6-second lead, which gave him the win, of course. So, yeah, he might have to do that again here, but it's going to be tough for him.
Well, it's going through his mind, I can promise you that, because he knows he moved before the lights went out, so he knows I got to go now. I can't fool around it off today. Kind of yesterday, a little bit different. He kind of run around, and then when he was ready to make his move, he did it near the end of the race. Today, I don't think he's going to hold back one bit. The number 2 is going right with him here.
Well, the psychological edge is huge, because obviously Hayes wants desperately to lead at the end of this weekend. He starts with a 1-point lead, though, over Cardenas, and Cardenas, likewise, psychologically, would love to lead Mid-Ohio. Here's another look at that start. Did he jump the start?
See him move just a touch. Good. It's hard to see from that angle. It doesn't appear that he left the box, so we'll see if there's any ruling on that here from the AMA, or they let it ride.
I think they're going to let it ride. I don't think he did leave the box, and therefore he's okay for now. But Herrin in 2nd place, slides it in to that right-hander. Roger Hayden making some ground.
Looks like Martin Cardenas made the move on Eslick because he broke into turn 6 right there. So now he's got Roger Hayden in his sights. Can he tow along with him, and can Danny Eslick go and run the pace? Talked to him this morning after practice. wasn't really thrilled with the whole deal right now. Just didn't feel right to him. So can he overcome some of those bad feelings and just ride through it?
How much can you change your day between race 1 and race 2? Because obviously, if you have a bad race 1 or you don't feel comfortable anyway, it can be hard, can't it?
It can, and if you're not sure about which direction to go, then sometimes you just take a shot at it, make a change, and hope it's better. So we'll see how that plays out. But Herrin right now is doing a great job. Kind of waiting for him to break through right now and beat his teammate heads up. We know the 54 was strong here last year. He's making a run, trying to catch back up to the ground he's lost early in the race.
125.7 by Hayden. Fastest lap of the race so far. There's 72, Larry Pegram off on the warm-up lap. They fixed that bike and he looks okay.
Good job, Larry. He's rebounding. He's in 9th place right now. So Dave Anthony breathing down his neck.
Well, we talked about safety gear throughout the weekend, and Larry has tested it for us right now in front of us.
Oh, he did it again, didn't he?
But, yeah, he's just ahead of David Anthony, the Aussie. Let's head down to Danielle's hill.
The number 72, Larry Pegram, had a bit of an incident just before the start of the race. Looks like you guys got it put all back together and out in time for the start.
Just in time. That was kind of rough, because we didn't know if he was going to be able to come back to the grid or if he had to come back here, and it's quite a ways to get from here to there, and we were able to hustle and get him back out there, so hopefully everything stays cool.
He just went off the track apparently, just hit the tire wall, so we'll have to see. He has a bit of an issue.
No question about it.
Well, there you go. That shows that one.
Yeah, just as we're talking about him, he then takes another leap into the darkness and off the track. Luckily he's okay though, Scott, but that was a strange off. Let's have a look.
Yeah, let's take a little look. He got it all backed in there, and he just kind of ran out of room. He outbroke himself, basically. And that means he got in there past his brake mark and ended up deep in the corner. And in that case, you either turn the bike, crash it, or decide to ride off. And luckily the track's been changed over the years and gave him enough runoff to where he could kind of get out of that without getting hurt.
This, of course, is home race, so he desperately wants to at least finish race 2. Meanwhile, back at the front, it's 2 Yamahas, first and second. Then third place, Roger Hayden is coming. 25.4 his last lap, so Hayden is coming quick, too. Well, this is what we wanted.
That's right, and he had some issues yesterday, and some of the riders decided to run a little bit softer tire yesterday, and it didn't really pan out. So they had some issues. Dunlop's going to take those tires back to Buffalo, take a look at them, and give us back a verdict. But everybody today is on the not the dual compound tire, but the standard, same compound all across the board. Everybody's on the same rear tire today.
Well, right now, he's taking chunks of time out of these boys. Look at him go. Roger Hayden's caught right up to the back of the 2 Yamahas, and now the Suzuki is on a mission.
Well, he was so close here last year, and this has been really a close track to home for these guys. And you saw the success that his 2 brothers have had here. He wants to put his name on that win list today, and I think the way he's riding today, it could be his day.
Yeah, look how much he's taken out of him in this one lap alone. I'll be interested to see the lap times just from this lap alone.
And they're not going slow. They are on a pace today already. The low, mid 25, so this is a quick pace right out of the gate.
Well, as we watch the top 3, let's head down to Danielle Thiel.
The number 54 of Roger Hayden has had a strong pace here all weekend. He is really pushing hard for this win here.
Yeah, the crew's working hard. We made a few changes. Unfortunately, yesterday we just missed on the setup, picked the wrong tire. So today we went with the other option, and hopefully we have what it takes to beat these guys. I'd like to be able to beat the Yamahas fair and square and win this thing. It'd be nice.
Well, that's what a lot of people are praying for sure, because Yamaha have had one-way traffic so far. But on that last lap, Scott, he took half a second out of Josh Hayes, and that's impressive stuff.
It really is. I tell you, I've got the telemetry printout, so I've got to see what the Yamahas do on top speed, and I can see what the Suzuki's running as well. And Roger's bike is a couple of miles an hour quicker at the end of that long straightaway, so that's helping him out. But this is a rider's track. It's not a horsepower track, so they've really got the right setup on that National Guard Suzuki today, and he's doing a great job right now putting the heat on his 2 Yamahas.
Remember this though, Josh Hayes in his interview before the start of the race said he gets better as the race goes on. We've got a long way to go in this 21 lap race, just 5 laps gone. And once again, Hayes is leading, and he looks comfortable, but look at Hayden, he's all over the back now of Herrin.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's only 1/10 of a second off the fastest lap yesterday, cut by Josh Hayes. So, I'll tell you what.
Larry Pegman's back out. Pegram on the 72 is back and running. Good to see.
This will be a ride-off. This is not going their way. So sometimes you have those.
Hayden's going to make his move, but where's he going to do it? Can't do it there. He gets cut off before the keyhole.
I think it might be at the end of this long straightaway. Like I said, he's got a couple of miles an hour on these Yamahas, according to the printout I have. So we'll see if he can get that thing turned and get a good drive out. He's a little bit far behind Herrin to make that happen this lap. But he's definitely closed the gap, and it could happen any time.
Down the long chute they go here at Mid-Ohio. Hayden desperately trying to get on level terms with these Yamahas. Hayes leads and slides it in to the right-hander. But there was controversy at the start of this race because under review is that situation with Josh Hayes, because I still don't believe, I don't think it's cut and dry. Let's have a look at it again, Scott. Well, watch the right-hand side.
It's a difficult view because we can't really see the box so well here. But you can see some movement for sure out of the number one. Not much, but just a little bit. They don't have that here anymore. You cannot move.
Here's the front angle. There's no question. I mean, it's absolute that he jumped. It's just a question of whether he jumped through the box or not.
True. So, anyway, back to the front here. Now he's right on the rear wheel, the 54 that is, of the two. And I'm just waiting to see who's going to make the move on the number one right here, because I think something's coming soon.
Well, it's been a tough weekend for Hayden as well, as we watch him on the number 54 in third place. His father, Earl, had a hospital overnight on Wednesday night, and so he arrived here under a little bit of a shadow. But Earl's been flying around ever since, and is back to his top form and talking to everybody as he does. So the Hayden's up and down, but that's what it's all about. Pegram's down again! Wow. Rotten weekend for Larry.
You know, he looks all right. He's got a little limp anyway. I don't think that had anything to do with the crash.
No one tell him our safety feature's over. He doesn't need to keep pressing.
I know.
I feel sorry for him because he so wants to go well here. You know, obviously, you know, a lot of fans, a lot of family, and he's such a pleasant guy.
Well, the whole year too. I mean, this is his year on the Yamaha. He thought that this is going to be the thing to catapult him toward the front, and it just hadn't panned out.
No change at the front. Let's head down to Danielle.
The start of the race is still under review, as the number one did have a little bit of movement there off the line. Jim, is a little bit of excitement, nerves maybe mixed together, knowing these guys are coming for him?
That's the part of racing that everybody loves. So it's actually a good race out there. It's going to be a good day.
Saying nothing about the incident, but you know, I'm still torn. I think he jumps.
Well, there's no doubt he moved. Now, you know, did he move enough to
I say, yeah, you said to me you are
not
allowed
supposed
to move.
But again, you know, you're saying you can't leave the box, so AMA will let us know here in a minute.
Yep.
And
well, it'll be interesting. Could change the championship.
It doesn't matter at this point. He's not 10 seconds ahead of any of the guys right behind him. So regardless of the fact, he's still in danger of losing this race, heads up or with a penalty.
Yeah, I'm giving Cardenas the championship lead again. That's going to be interesting.
Who runs in fourth, about 2.5 seconds behind him. And you can see him just in the shot.
Yeah, top three. Hey, you can see them. Cardenas is just behind him fourth. Essling fifth. May is sixth. Fillmore seventh. Yates just behind them in eighth.
Looks like the Yamahas get off that keyhole just a bit better than Suzuki, and that's going to make it tough for Roger. They're trying to find another way around these guys because it's such a one-line racetrack. When you get to this section from here all the way back to the start-finish line, it's so hard to force the issue on one of these super bikes, especially when you're trying to get around a guy as strong as Josh Hayes. Scott, he runs tight inside line, so that makes it even more tough.
Scott, would you agree with me? Josh Hayes has been a lot more comfortable, a lot fitter, a lot more aggressive on the bike, and I know he's been working at it with his trainer and so on and so forth, but compared to Road America, he's a different guy.
He really is. He's riding, like I said earlier, I think he's riding the Superbike better than he's rode it yet. The trainers have been on it. This weekend's been his weekend, and now he's putting the heat on his teammate.
Hayes is doing the business at the front, but it's the three H's and Cardenas in four here at Mid-Ohio. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back on CBS Sports Network. Welcome back to the Geico Motorcycle AMA Pro Road Racing Series. Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio. It's the Buckeye SuperBike Weekend here on the CBS Sports Network. Brought to you by Yamaha. And Yamaha are doing the business at the front. And look at Josh Hayes, who's got his head down. There's a reason for that, because he has been given that 5-second penalty that we wondered about. As he passed last time round, that was what his board said. Now he drops to P3 and minus 4.5. He's done it before, Scott, and he's caught up the time. Can he do it again? So Cardenas has the lead of the championship.
Well, it's going to be tough right now because his teammates got some pace today, but as you see, Each lap that goes by, he got just a little bit more on his teammate. So it's going to be difficult for Josh Herrin to hang on to the number 1 because he knows now that he's got a penalty, and you're going to see the best of Josh Hayes right now.
Yep, and Herrin can actually just not relax, but he's got this win in the bag because he's got a little bit of time on Cardenas as well. So then, Josh Hayes, always drama following him, but he likes a challenger too, but he did break the rules, and there's no question about it. He jumped the start.
Yeah, one more time on the far inside right here, and you're going to see him move just a little bit, and that's all it took, 5 seconds. There you go.
And I think he'll take it like a man, so to speak. He knows he did it, and he's a good sportsman, but no one else moved. It's not like Barber where there was a couple of movers. This was a definite move, and now this is played into the hands of this man, number 2, Josh Herrin. What confidence this will give him. And it doesn't matter how you get the win. He won at Daytona when Josh Hayes went out, and now he's got a chance to do it again. And of course, he's in the mix. Cardenas would go to the top of the board right now, but Hayes isn't done with this yet.
No, according to the board right now, he was 4.5 seconds ahead of Josh Hayes last lap by. Now Hayes has passed Cardenas with the time, and he's only 3.9 behind his teammate Herrin. So every lap he got a little bit more, and Josh Herrin is really going to have to dig deep if he wants to win this race because there's 10 laps to go, and it's plenty of time.
Now if you wonder where Roger Hayden had gone, because he was right up there a moment ago, he disappeared, of course. He's now down in 9th position, and here's what happened. He basically got off track here, just as Larry Pegram did a moment earlier. He got into trouble, Scott.
Yeah, off the back straight, right, turn 6. It's the hardest braking zone on the track. You're coming down from 175, 76 miles an hour down to second gear at 70 miles an hour. So it's difficult to stop these motorcycles. You saw the back end come off the ground and it tied itself in a knot, and he had to go straight.
Well, he's back out on track, but down the order somewhat. Hayden now down in 9th position on the 54 ahead of Knapp and West, but not the expectancy that we wanted from the Suzuki, but there you go, that's racing. And look at this, EBR and KTM right at it. May, Fillmore and Yates.
I tell you, Fillmore's caught up to this battle which raged on from yesterday between teammates. There's a little bit of a moment for the 11, a bobble coming out, and that opens the door for Yates to come through. And so yeah, these EBR guys battled it out yesterday, came across the ride. And let's talk about Chris Fillmore too, the 11. He had an incident this morning, and he's riding a little bit banged up.
Yeah, and that little wobble definitely shows that a little bit of confidence lost. Here's what happened this morning to Chris Fillmore.
Oh, wow. That's in that hard break, turn 6. Oh, that's big. That was the fast. That's a 170 mile an hour crash.
And he's got a sore elbow for sure. So he's riding injured anyway, at least banged up and bruised and probably a little sore, but he's pushing hard. And that's exactly what you expected him. Here he is again at that same corner, looking for an inside move.
Yeah, just goes to show you how tough these guys are. I mean, you take a crash like that, a normal human being wouldn't even want to ever see a motorcycle again. He jumps right back on it, goes right back to work.
Well, I just wondered, do you think about it? If it is a particular corner, do you start to get nervous? Do you start to have it in your mind, or do you have to push it out?
No, it wasn't a corner. It was all right or mistake, right or error.
Okay.
I mean, he's the one driving.
But I'm saying as you come past that same area again.
It's going to go through your mind. I don't care who you are, but you got to be able to block it out. That's what these guys are so good at. For instance, a guy could crash right in front of you. You can't follow him with your eyes on the track. You got to look past it, forget it, move on. You start your lap at the next apex.
Good battle this for 5th place. Remember, May in 5th, Yates and Fillmore going at it. Jeff May. And it's been a big improvement for BBR. I was talking to them this morning, and they're so proud of what they're doing. And I'm amazed, actually, that we've got an American-made motorcycle out here chasing down these boys and basically, now starting to make some really good progress. And it's not an easy thing to do against the Japanese and anybody else who's been racing for many, many years.
Now, for this trio we're watching right here on twin motorcycles that are down a little bit on top speed, this is a great racetrack for these motorcycles. And you see it right now, they're running in that 5th, 6th, and 7th position and ahead of some fast motorcycles. So I'm really proud of the 99 and 22 Georgia boys right there, really bringing it on home. And the 99's kind of led the way on the EBR, but Aaron Yates, this is his first year back, really, and full year back on this bike, and he's doing a great job looking for a way around.
Well, there's no question this is one of his favorite circuits. He got a double here in 2000. He's had 3 wins in total in Superbike and 4 in other classes.
It's just great to see Aaron back in the sport. He hurt himself really bad in Montana years ago, and really badly broken leg, and he's really made a great rebound.
Let's head down to Danielle Teal down in the pits.
A lot of excitement down here in the EBR pits. The number 20 side, Evan Steele here. Evan, Aaron has a history here of double wins, but it's also his 20-year anniversary at this track. Would you say this is a good place for him?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of his best tracks. He usually does really well here.
Is he running a strong race, would you say, against his teammate?
Yeah, I mean, him and Jeff are having a good battle. Yesterday they did too. They're both going pretty well. We're happy to see them both up there.
How old is Aaron, just to be exact?
What's that?
How old is Aaron?
I have no idea.
What I would say is age and experience is playing a factor here for sure.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Cheeky question, though. Love it, Danielle. I don't think you're going to get the straight answer to that. But I think he's pushing 40, right?
He's somewhere around that age. He's got to be.
Well, he's still. He gives the old adage, you know, the older he gets, the faster he is.
Well, I mean, you see that a lot in the sport.
That works with you, doesn't it?
I don't know about me, but anyway, the sport, you know, the bikes are so good now, and you don't see guys flying off of them quite as often as the old days, and that's extended a lot of riders' careers, you know. So they've got traction control, a lot of rider aids to help that. So it allow a guy to run deep into his 40.
Well, there's been some great racing so far. Check this out,
Yeah,
Scott.
when you come out of the keyhole right here, the track will drop away, a little hump. And
how about that for a wheelie?
Double wheelie from the EBRs. That got to be proud. That'll make some good photos right there
Yeah.
for the shop wall.
EBR showboating here in mid-Ohio.
You can't showboat too much because the 11's right there. He's going to get it. Whoa. Saw a little bit of smoke from that KTM as he come over the top of that hill.
And in fact, Fillmore looking very aggressive at this point and maybe even trying to make a move on both of them as they come through the S's. Let's head down again to Danielle.
As you saw this morning, Chris Fillmore had a big get-off. Uli, how is Chris feeling as of now, and is it affecting his race at all?
He's a little banged up, obviously, because of the speed, the hard crash he had. It was 120 miles an hour crash. And he sure is hurt a little, but he shouldn't be affected too much of it. For sure he can feel it, though.
And yeah, no kidding. Hey, guys, if you're watching at home, just remember this. Get in your car, go to the speed limit, and just then throw yourself out and down the road. And this is what this is going to feel like for Chris Fillmore. He's doing 170 miles an hour.
I said 170, he said 120. It doesn't matter. Just try it sometime at home. It's not going to work out for you.
Do not. But I'll tell you what, how good is the safety equipment? We've been talking about safety in the preview, and we, you know, again, it's proved out.
It's been a perfect weekend to talk about it and see some stuff like that to back it up. I mean, for a guy to be able to come back from a crash like that and remount this thing and ride as hard as he rides.
You would never know.
Oh, yeah, no.
Well, this is the battle for 5th place, and it's raging on as we come down with 6 to go here in mid-Ohio. Over the top they come through this roller coaster circuit with such history, celebrating 50 years. And I tell you what, it's been a great place to come to. What racing we've had. And we've got some good vintage boys out there too. Aaron Yates rolling back the years and just as good as he ever looked.
I can remember ripping around this racetrack a long time ago, and it was definitely one of my favorites. And I think it is for the riders. It's a little bit dodgy here and there safety-wise, but for the most part, it's a real favorite for the riders and fun track.
Now, while we've been watching this battle, if you look at it bottom right, obviously, Josh Herrin is still leading on number 2, but Josh Hayes has got into the lead and is now only 2.8 seconds behind him. So it's getting interesting with 5 to go because Hayes will not give up, and if he pulls this off and makes it 6 in a row, that is 6 of the best. It really is impressive stuff indeed. Well, Herrin needs to react quickly.
He really does, because the last lap, Hayes was a half a second faster. So if he continues to do that with this many laps left, he will be able to get back by his teammate.
Just wondering as we come down to the closing stages, we saw it yesterday, they did this in tandem for a long time and then Aaron made a move at the end there, but they battled all the way to the line and it was close, so let's hope it does the same thing again. And Fillmore's not out of this either.
No, and it's very similar to what we saw yesterday. Fillmore was in this battle, but got dropped off at the end, and it looks like again, maybe lost a little bit of time. Maybe that was just one little mistake in one corner. He seems to have been able to reel that back.
Don't forget, Fillmore is 7th in the championship, Jeff May 8th. Let's head back and see another battle. This is Kelsey on the number 34. In his battle with 75, Huntley Nash on the Kawasaki.
And you see Chris Ulrich right there on the Honda. You know, he's continued to try to find his way on this thing and made some big changes and kind of finding a direction, working on traction control. But you know, this is one of our next Moto champions, Huntley Nash, and he's out there really riding well this weekend. We've got my old crew chief that I won the world championship with, Gary Medley, working with him. So he's got got the right guy, and he's got a Kawasaki that's really fast.
I was going to say, and he's also got the helmet on there too.
He does that too.
He's got your helmet on.
Maybe it's working
He's
for him.
schooling for it.
It's finally working. Yeah, we've been riding some together at the house, but I don't think he needs much schooling. I think he just needs to get comfortable with the big 1,000. He came from 600. It's a big jump to try to manhandle one of these things, especially around a racetrack like this. I'm proud to see he's doing as well as he is at a difficult racetrack.
Chris Ulrich, of course, the team owner of this team on the number 18, and he has a busy weekend, doesn't he? Every weekend.
He does. They got a big team going on down there. Jumped from Suzuki to Honda this year, so that's a big deal. He got some good sponsors working with him over there with Geico, Broaster Chicken. They've got a lot going on in that team.
Well, Danielle Teal's just standing by. Let's head down to her.
The number 99 of Jeff Mays battling very hard out there. This American-made EBR is battling very hard. I know you guys are putting in a lot of work. Expecting the same result here today?
We're hoping for the same result. At this point in time, we're waiting to see who's going to buy the beer at the end of the race weekend. So hopefully Evan's team's going to have to pony up, and we're looking forward to the end of the race. Thanks.
Getting the important things in order here in AMA, quite rightly, because of course this is a battle of the team internally too, because they've got identical motorcycles, and of course it's a team then it's a fight between the technicians as well.
Yeah, so it's not just on the racetrack, it's about who's going to buy the beer, so it's a fight in the garage as well. So that's kind of cool. But they're dropping Fillmore just a little bit off right now, and it's kind of the same deal. With 3 to go right now, they're going to probably up their ante a little bit, and we'll see if Fillmore injured. Is he going to be able to keep the pace with the EDR?
But the battle is on at the front. It's only 1.5 seconds now. Herrin leads, but only just. And Hayes is leading on the road, so we've got a cracking finish to this between the two Yamahas.
Yeah, Herrin's got some work to do to stop the bleeding right now, because that gap continues to come down lap by lap, and we know how strong Hayes is. He's out front leading the race, but in reality he's in second place. Herrin right now knows that by looking at the pit board. Surely he's seen Josh's pit board, and he can kind of understand what's going on right now, and he knows I got to dig deep. I got to hang on to this deal to win it.
Cardenas still third, Eslick fourth, May is the 5th place man. That's the man you're watching right now. Then Yates in 6th. Fillmore still hanging in there in 7th, and Hayden's got back up to 8th position. But really, the battle is on. 1.1 seconds now. Can Hayes stop Herrin? This is getting really intense at the front, because there's nothing between them, and Herrin is hanging on quite literally.
See right there, that's what 4 seconds on a racetrack looks like. Number 1 will go by, and here in a minute you'll see the number 2 come in the shot, and that's a 4-second lead, and it looks bigger than that, but that's 4 seconds on a racetrack right now.
Scott, can he do it?
Anything's possible. I think we got 2 to go. I think if he stays with this pace right now, a 126.3 by Hayes, a 26.3 by Herrin, 26.0 last time, so if he can keep it in there, yeah, he can win this thing.
Well, this is going to be a very important lap before he heads on the final one, and this is looking good, but I think he's going to, well, the way I'm estimating it, he's going to miss out by about less than half a second.
Well, you heard that feather in the cap that said, hey, oh, that little pump right there didn't help, but that was Herrin. So anyway, Hayes feels like the end of the race is where he's the best, so we're going to find out here in a minute.
He's slowed down, isn't he?
No, that's a slow corner. That's a 50-mile-an-hour corner.
He looked slow for a second there. It was just the last corner. On through. Final lap he goes then. What's his lap time this time? He does a 26.3. Well, I might be right. He might have been slower than I thought.
0.7 is the difference now. So he's willing to wait another 3/10 that lap.
Well, I don't think, like I said, I think it's going to be less than half a second, but I don't think he's going to do it. But it's going to be tight.
This is the most important lap of Herring's career right now, I think, to this point, to be able to win it. However you win it, you got to win it, and you want to beat your teammate. I know it doesn't look like a win, but it could possibly be one.
So Josh Hayes looking for his 6th win in a row. Very close indeed, but will Herrin actually get his 2nd win of the year and help his championship hopes? It's looking good. Herrin's girlfriend looking very, very nervous indeed as she watches on. She gives a little wave to us, but I think she's a little bit more interested in what the buddy's going. Yeah, number 1, you got it right now. Here he comes over the top. Scott, this has got to feel good for Josh Herrin. He's worked hard at this. He's trained hard for this. And it doesn't matter about the start and the Hayes messed it up again. He is doing his job.
Well, one little mistake with a few corners to go could cost him the race, so he's got to keep it clean right here. There's the number 1 through Thunder Valley right now. He's only got 3 more corners to bring this thing home. Will he win it, or will he feel his 2nd?
Going to be interesting. Here comes Josh Hayes. He's put in another scintillating lap as he comes round now to finish here in mid-Ohio. But will he be on top? It's going to be close. He comes to the line. Josh Herrin crosses the line. But the checkered flag waves, and will it be this man who wins? He crosses the line now. And they think he's got it, but it's nervous moments in the Yamaha team. And here we go. These two are still at it. And 99, Jeff May still ahead. But it is Josh Herrin who wins the race overall by 0.122.
Wow.
Give me a break. Wow. That is as close as you like. Wow. Excellent stuff. And it's getting closer here too because Aaron Yates isn't finished. Here they come. EBR crossing the line in unison. Wow, what a race and what a finish. I knew it would be close, but Herrin wins by 0.122. Take a break. You need one. So these were the moments of the race, and a jump start by the pole position man Josh Hayes, and they then said, well, 5-second penalty, which put him 4.5 seconds down. Roger Hayden was in the mix until this moment when he went off and grass-tracked and then into the gravel, and that ended his hopes of staying in contention. Then it was all about Herrin, and Herrin looked good, but he was passed by, of course, Josh Hayes. But Herrin wins by just 0.122. Danielle?
That's right, winning by 0.12 over Josh Hayes after he got a 5-second penalty. Josh, I know that you knew that Josh had a penalty, but a win is a win, and it's all about making the least amount of mistakes. Congratulations on first place.
I didn't know I won.
You won.
How am I supposed to know I won? Nobody even said anything. Oh, sweet. Hey, awesome. Dang, I don't like to. I didn't even know I won. I don't like to take them that way, but, you know, I guess that's what I get for charging the whole time and not giving up. Thought for a second there maybe I could catch up a little bit, and I never quit. And thanks to my Monster Energy Graves Yamaha team, you know, everybody for standing behind me, Specialized Bicycles for getting me into shape, and Belhoma Steinese Leathers. Thanks a lot.
There you go, CBS Sports Network and Danielle Teal bringing you the story first, even to the guy who wins the race. He didn't know. I love it. Confirmation then, 2 Yamahas out front. Josh Herrin just wins by 0.122. Josh Hayes in second place. Cardenas is third and stays in the mix. Danny Essling in fourth place. We'll take a short break here on CBS Sports Network. More coming up after this.
AMA Pro Superbike on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by 1-800-MOTORCYCLE. The lawyers at 1-800-MOTORCYCLE remind you to ride safe tonight. 1-800-MOTORCYCLE. Lawyers helping injured riders. Call or click anytime for a free consultation. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance. Get a free rate quote today.
Welcome back to Mid-Ohio. What an interesting weekend it's been. But look how it stands now. Josh Hayes leads the championship for the first time this season. And he leads it by 6. Herrin doing a great job there with that win. Mark Cardenas still in the hunt, and he is also 6 points behind. It's getting nice and interesting. Let's head down to Danielle Teal.
Interesting to say the least. Jonathan, the number 1, ultimately number 2 here today. Josh's disappointment, the best way to explain the look on your face?
I don't know. Jonathan, it is hot out here. Daggum. Quit yakking, let me talk. You win some, you lose some. I made a little mistake in the beginning. I'm proud of the way I rode on the track. I rode so hard. I had Gina back home, boss, telling me in my helmet, go, go, go. So I was trying to get up there and get that gap. Thanks to my Yamaha crew, Monster Energy, I'm still second on the box.
I hear you, Josh. Yeah, I'll stop yakking if you go faster. We'll get more time then to treat us. But, well, it's been a great weekend, for sure. So then, for Scott Russell, Danielle Teal, and our entire CBS Sports Network crew, I'm Jonathan Green. For scores, highlights, features, and more, go to cbssports.com. This has been a presentation of Chet Berg's Productions in association with CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Congratulations to our riders in both Superbike and Supersport. Laguna Seca is next in July, Monterey, California. What a weekend. Josh Herrin wins a race, his second of the year. Those who fell by the wayside, those who rode valiantly on to victory. The important thing is, Josh Hayes is headed surely towards that 4th consecutive title. We'll see you next time.